Welcome everybody to episode 0 of the CertLife podcast. So I'm going to be one of the hosts. My name's Brendan Finn. We'll have different hosts joining me throughout this adventure here. So I'm going to start off with episode 0, not episode 1, just simply because this isn't going to be a full episode, just simply a episode to kind of go over what we're going to discuss on this podcast moving forward. Not so much the layout, since we don't really have that hammered out yet, but kind of what this podcast is about. So this podcast is about the certification industry, that being everything relevant to clean rooms and lab spaces and equipment testing, room testing, environmental controls, things like that. We'll dabble in some balancing stuff as well here and there, since I also get involved in that. But I kind of wanted to start off with a short episode 0, have it online where people can kind of hit that and see what we're all about. I know I listen to a fairly decent amount of podcasts because in this industry, as most people know, our target audience will know that we do a lot of driving. And so, the field personnel kind of do a lot of driving, maybe listen to a lot of podcasts, which was the reasoning behind this. So I know when I start listening to new podcasts, you basically find them, you're like, oh, that sounds cool. Got a cool name. Click on it, you're like, wow, that's nothing of what I really need to listen to or thought it was about. So the term certification is kind of broad, might apply to more than one industry, more than one thing. Obviously, this one is going to basically deal with clean room certification and testing and things like that. So me and some other coworkers and people in the industry, we had joked around. Everybody's heard of CertLife and that whole brand, and not that we stole their idea, but we kind of joked around. We always joked around, oh, CertLife, how things go out in the field, and when we kind of always we're teasing each other about it, working late, working holidays because of shutdowns or things like that. So it's been a name we've used for a long time to kind of joke around about the industry and things like that. So what I kind of want to do with this podcast is basically, we're going to have other co-hosts on. Everybody comes from different backgrounds, different abilities, different skill levels. Everybody's going to have some insight. It's going to be a very lighthearted podcast, kind of joking around. This isn't a super serious podcast. We will talk about technical stuff and things like that, but be lighthearted kind of. I think the industry could use that a little less serious sometimes, but hopefully at some point maybe we'll do live streaming so we can have some viewers or listeners kind of chime in, ask questions, things like that. We'll have some guests, industry guests on the show as well, and kind of dabble in some of that type of formatting. If anybody has any questions or has any ideas for a show, please hit us up. That email address would be show, SHOW, at CertLifePodcast.com. As we get kind of refined in this whole process, none of us have really done this before. So, as we get the technical stuff figured out, we'll kind of evolve this into, hopefully it'll morph into something a little larger, better, well-equipped and reach a broader audience. Our target audience is obviously anybody involved in this industry, but kind of the field people, right? Everybody, this industry is not very small, but it's a smaller industry, tends to not have, a lot of people in the same area working together, so it's nice to meet people from other areas and kind of bounce ideas off each other. Some of the conferences that are in this industry are always nice to go to be able to do that. And I don't think as many field personnel, especially newer field personnel, get that luxury. So hopefully this podcast might be something that you can listen to while you are driving to or from work. We're going to keep them short, hopefully about 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, depending. It's not like it's going to get cut off right at a specific time, but that's the kind of the basic overview of what we're looking to do here. And so, like I said, hit us up, show at CertLifePodcast.com if you got any show ideas. Other than that, we will be rolling out episode 1 here shortly. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again soon.